Before I get started on showing you how I put concealer on my under eyes, I want to say I used to be very conscious of my dark under eye circles. With the ring light on my face right now, it kind of blows it out and so you don't see them as much. Currently, I don't have anything underneath my eyes. I do have the rest of my makeup on, but I left my under eye bare. It took me years to come to terms with my under eye circles. I always felt like they were so bad or like so ugly. Honestly, they just don't bother me anymore. I spent too many years genuinely thinking that everyone was staring at them or that they made me so ugly, and honestly, they're not. Under eye dark circles are not ugly when I see them on other people. You don't have to cover them. However, if you want to cover them, that's what I'm going to show you. I want to get very up close with you because I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, and I want you to be able to see what it is like really looking like that close up underneath on my eyes. I used to not be a huge fan of color correctors. I recently found this one that I will make sure to put in the description for you. And I'm just gonna look in the viewfinder because I wanna be looking up anyway. I like to look up because it kind of tightens that skin right here. But I, in general, avoid, like wherever there's the most wrinkles or fine lines, I try to stay away from, or I just try not to put as much product there. I put a little on my finger. This is a brightening corrector, and I learned early on, especially with sticky products, you don't want to pull. Like you don't want to like drag. I pat everything. I pat my under eye. I pat everything. So this is just a brightener, and it is a color corrector. It takes, the color of this is like a salmon color, which is supposed to cancel out that purple dark color. The reason I have not loved correctors in the past is because they're too heavy and they cause my concealer to crease. However, I've used this and it, one, blends out perfectly. Like it just blends out until you just don't even like see it or notice it there. And it does not make my concealer crease, which is really important. And I take my time on this part, and I really just make sure there's no excess product hanging out anywhere in like the fine lines. Like if I get really close, you can see there's some product like right in here. Do you see where you can kind of see skin when I pull it tight? Like right in there. That's what I'm talking about. And so I'll just take my finger and look in the opposite direction that skin wants to pull. And now you can see it looks just a little better. And I know I'm like wildly close to the camera, but I swear when I watch other people do it, I'm like, well, I want to see what it looks like up close. Like I want to know what you look like up close and personal, because my goal is to look really good up close and personal. So you can see the difference already. I mean, that's incredible. And this is what it looks like up super, super close. I wish this was like baby butt smooth. I know it's only gonna get worse as I get older, but honestly, your eyes are what they are. Eyes have wrinkles and fine lines, and they're purple, and they are what they are. Don't try and fight it. Like, obviously you can do some things like this. Don't fight your mental is what I'm thinking. Like, don't let it stress you. Okay, moving on to my concealers. Let me just say, I don't always use a corrector. I use this when I wanna look really nice and I wanna show you guys the extra step. Most of the time, I do not use a corrector and I only use concealer. I have two concealers that I like. I will link the Laura Mercier one that I really like. And then this is the Beauty Blender one. And I just am surprised at how much I like it. So I'm just gonna put a couple dots here. I'm going to use my finger. I used to use a beauty blender, and the finger works the best. Your finger's warm, it warms up the product, your body's warm, and so it just like blends out a little bit better. So I'm just going to start by patting right here where it's like the worst, like that's where I notice it the most. I'm gonna go down the side of my nose and into the deepest part of my eye socket right here on the inner corner. And I'm kind of leaving this up here where I have the most like skin concern, you know? I'm gonna come up here underneath my eyeshadow to kind of like lift that area and blend it down into this area. So kind of this whole just area underneath. And I like to go along the side of my nose right here to make my nose feel like a little more slender. I laugh as if it's like so funny. And then I'm gonna take my time patting it out. And I'm not going to cut this. I'm not going to, like the footage, I'm not going to cut the footage. I want you to see exactly how long it takes, exactly how long it takes me to blend it out. And I'm just going to keep patting. I try not to swipe it. And then I'm gonna take my clean finger, because this is like pretty harsh right here. I'm just gonna take my clean finger and pounce on the top of that line to help diffuse it. And that takes just a second. I feel really weird being up close, but you guys, I'm doing it for you because that's what I like. This is my clean finger, and I just know that I've got like extra product right in here, so I'm dragging it along the very underneath part of my eye to mask some of that redness, but like I just don't want a lot of makeup there. I would rather have a little redness than a lot of makeup. And I'm gonna go back in with my makeup finger, and it makes a difference. You can see like a clean finger, one that I use just with the extra product on my skin, and this is the one that has all the makeup on it. So it makes a difference what finger you're using. The one with makeup, I'm just going to finish blending down my face right here because I don't want there to be any like line where I stopped putting the makeup on, or my foundation, where my foundation and concealer is. And this is like very normal. This part takes me the longest. I'm not super fast at doing makeup because I just want it to like look nice, which is why I either wear it or I don't. There's not really an in between. I look up and I go back and forth. Like if you only wipe this way, you're missing skin that's being hidden by like fine lines that way. So I go back and forth. Less is more, as I've like learned the hard way. Sometimes I look at pictures and I'm like, oh boy. You can see a side-by-side difference. This is the eye with a color corrector and concealer, and this is the under eye that has no makeup underneath it. And a lot of times you will want to set your under eye concealer with powder so that your cream concealer doesn't crease. However, if you get a good concealer that sets itself, you don't have to add powder on top, which is why I really like this one, is because I don't have to go in and set it with powder. And oftentimes what would happen is, you know, an hour later, 2 hours later, your makeup settles a little bit. It's just going to. There is zero avoiding that. And I find that if I just take my empty finger and just do what I just got done doing, I kind of just blend it out with my finger later on through the day, like when I'm touching up, it comes out of it really nicely, like it wears through the day nicely. But if I add powder to it, then it doesn't blend as easy because the powder locks it. And so when the makeup settles in your fine lines, it's like locked in and it doesn't smear very well. And then it just looks like chalky and dry, and it's just like a whole thing. I don't set my under eye a whole ton. Sometimes I do, like it's very situational, but on like a day-to-day basis, like I won't. And if I do, I won't set it right up underneath my, like where the fine lines are, which is like completely opposite. Like everyone's like, set it with powder and it won't move. Like, yes, it does. So anyway, here we are. And that's all that there is for this video. So I'm gonna do my other eye and then that's it. Here are both eyes done, the concealer done. I added some blush and a little bit of highlight. I will put all the products that I have on my face in the description below, but with all of the eye products listed right up at top for you guys. I will also link a good eye cream, one that isn't very expensive, but that does a good job. And I feel like you can skimp on makeup a little bit, depending on the product. However, don't skimp on the skincare. If your skin is in good condition, you have the leeway to put cheaper products on top. I feel like that's not like 100% always the case, but that's kind of like my thought process, is I want my skin to be in good shape so that whatever I put on top is gonna look good. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, share it with a friend that might like it. If you are new to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.